So if in case you are wondering why all of my videos, nearly all, are done while I'm driving, so keep in mind that driving for me is the meditation and free state. Although I could be doing this at home in a quiet environment, I save time while driving. So anyway, we did a channeling not just a few days ago, and we were channeling Enrico, and he was sharing funny and interesting ideas, which I would love to share. Although the point of my sharing is that because I think it's interesting and I think it's really useful for people to know, and so yeah. Anyway, so we were channeling Enrico, and he was doing some funny jokes with everybody around, and many people were laughing. And the joke, what he says, was that in Latvian we may say 10 points. It means exactly. And in short terms we just say 10. Or in other words, in 10. It means inside the 10. So it would be 10 points. And Enrico was like telling, like, people do all sorts of indescribable things, and then we say amazing, amazing. And many beings, others say amazing, just amazing when they're looking at humans, but humans do funny things. And then at one point, one lady is telling, "Can I ask a question?" Enrico asks, "Can you?" And she says, "Well, I'm not sure." So then you cannot ask a question. She said, "I want to try." "So please then try." And she's like, And Enrico said, "Where's the question?" She's like, And Enrico then says, "Amazing. 10, like 10 points. She's like, "What 10 points?" She said, 10 points for you, because your beings which are next to you, I kind of saw them, are showing 10 points, because the topic only was about the 10 points. And she's like, "What?" And she said, "Well, all the people around here which are watching, can you please count how many you are?" And people started to count. "Yes, we are 10. I didn't know how many they are, and nobody actually knew. And he said again, "Amazing." So it's like a funny conversation in a sense. And we were talking about how can you increase your lifespan? How can you become how can you live longer, and how can you be longer, and increase your lifespan? I had to apologize because I don't remember the answers correctly, because I remember the Palladian message that they shared. That was more interesting for me. But the answer was, first things first was reduce all your muscle tensions that you have by thinking the goals you need to achieve, by having an emotional connection with the goals you want to achieve. And thus then you release your inner tensions, inner muscle tensions, and therefore your inner cellular liquid exchanges happen more freely. Your skin becomes more lighter. You become more opened up. The infrastructure of the cell mechanism, how they interact with each other, it becomes more freer. Second thing was eat light. I think it was eat light-weighted food, but it wasn't in terms of weight. It was in terms of how long the food does digest. And I know that there are some kind of foods that digest slower, and fruits like vegetables that digest quicker. And he said, eat the food that, basically in my interpretation would mean, he said lighter food, but in interpretation would mean eat food that digests quicker. And what I understood for that message is that not only that the food digests and the body uses less energy to transform the food, but also that what it means is that how I saw it in the cellular level, for example, if we eat some kind of heavy food, may it be meat, may it be mushrooms, whatever, they tend to hold longer inside our blood system, and thus then it creates some kind of resistance to the blood system. It creates resistance to the blood, to the circular system in our body. So it, in a sense, it lowers down our energy, because in the blood system and cellular levels, the cells that we eat, the meat or the heavy food that we eat, they digest slower, and energy is more used to convert them into the things the body needs, and the rest just goes out. And the second thing was, go and be free in a walk. Go and have a free walk. Means like you go and just, he said, don't look down on your feet while you're walking. Look around, look and enjoy around, everything is around you. He said, create the childhood, recall the childhood of your age, just looking around, just walking around. If you feel like sitting, sit down. If you feel like sleeping, sleep down in grass. If you feel like hooking up, look up, be opened up. And the third thing was, after such a joyful walk, drink, he showed that much pure water, pure and nice water, like pure and soft and nice water. And the technology was behind that. Once you're like free or open up to eat like food, the body drinks this water for fully inside all of his body, inside all the cells, inside everywhere. So this is like a technique how you can increase your lifespan. And he said, and notice we didn't say anything about medicine or pills which you need to take. These are simple steps that everybody can use. That was an interesting experience. So also next experience was, the information that I shared was the Pleiadians. And now this was emotional again. Many people started to cry in the room, or tears falling down, and so on. And they started to share the message about Pleiadians. That the question was when they will, or will arrive, and they said that we are humans here in our galactic path. We are going in strong steps forward for a first contact. First open contact may not be public, and will not be public first open contact. And what one person asked, have the Pleiadians been ever on Earth? And he said, yes, there has been a Pleiadian man on Earth here doing an interview on video format, which was done on tape in a format of 4.3 aspect ratio, filmed on tape, really poor quality, which shakes. I never saw that video, I don't know what it is. And it was done in 1970s, I guess. So the videos, as they said, we are not sure whether those videos are public, but they have been filmed, and we are not sure whether that man is still on Earth, because he's an energetic. He said many physical beings with higher energy exist on. They exist on many fields at once. They exist on physical field frame, and they exist on energetical field and frame. So they said, we sense that person is in an energetical field right now. We can shift to, but they said we cannot distinguish whether and where is his physical body. So, as he said, we are apologizing you for not knowing whether he is still on Earth or not, because the question was, is he still on Earth? And the next thing was that they were sharing about for the first contact. He said, well, the first contact will happen and is going to happen. Oh, how funny, the dog is joyfuling when people are walking next to him behind the fence. He ran away. When people will not look about first contact to get technologies, when people are not looking for their first contact to aid and conquer any others, when people are realize that they do not need technology that much, when people do not need, in shorter words, that people are open up to humanity. What is it like to be a human, sharing, being family-like, supporting? And he said that many people right here, including you, are feeling and knowing that the money system is not the system where we want to go. the governmental systems are not the systems where you want to go. You feel that there's something wrong and totally out of balance in this world, and this is just the symptoms that you feel that the whole humanity is going closer and closer for the first open contact. And when humans are ready energetically, they understand that we all are one family. We are all and have been a one family. He said in a relationship, you would say. The first contact, it's something like a family reunion, a reunion, or how you call it. It's something like they say that imagine when you have met a relative which you have dearly loved who has died, and when you meet him in contact, or when you meet him in your dream states, or when you finally meet him again, you just cry, cry, cry. It's highly emotional. It's highly emotional for you to see, to feel, to meet him again. And you can imagine that all the people that have walked over this earth meet family members that we or humans have ever lost, like thousands and thousands years ago, when they split up, when the phyton exploded, when the Mars was destroyed, and when the Earth civilizations went away and the alien races came here. When this family was split up, they went to Pleiadians, and when the first contact happened, it's a really family reunion. I don't know how to call it. I forgot. And it's a highly emotional first contact. Highly emotional first contact. So that's the open first contact, as you may say. And they were talking about the readiness of being for the first open contact. And so yeah, that was the information I wanted to share. There was lots of more information I don't remember. I have not so much time. I want to keep it short in those videos, but I'll post some more and more and more and more videos later, and then you can watch them. I will share some more information. I need to go to print something in some kind of a paper house, where you need to print some few paper sheets, and I feel really fine after that challenge. I feel really fine. And another thing I was then, after the channeling talking, many people were like, oh, when they started talking about Pleiadians, and I feel that emotions, and my body also starts to cry. I said it's something strange when you connect to a higher being. It's that energy of lovingness against us, the energy of lovingness against the humans, or whatever. It's so pure. It's so clean. It's like. And sometimes I think maybe I have some emotional trauma inside me, and that energy just cleanses everything, just cleanses and cleans out everything. It's just tears coming out. So such great love, because normally, oh yeah, it's so great love. I feel so loved. So it's such a great love. Yeah, fine. The same like joy or like laughter. You just laugh out. You just laugh hardly. But why do you need to cry? I don't understand. Why do you need to cry? So it's really emotional. Maybe because also maybe it's true that we as humans have existed in this dreadful, horrible times of depression, or I mean suppression, and maybe or genetically for periods and periods of time we have lived out so much sorrow, so much loss, so much difficulty, so much anger, so much wars, and so much everything, that by remeeting and rejoicing we have a energetical remembrance of our first existence ever here on earth, together with them, the light beings. And we are like, our genetical body is like, man, finally these millions and trillions and thousands of years of suffering are coming to an end. It's like, you are back. And it's emotional. And they said also that we will never ever leave you behind. It's really highly emotional. And yeah, so they will never ever leave you behind. So it's interesting, and and then again it's joyful, and it's loving. I don't know whether it's true. We have to wait. They said the year 2022, 2027, 2032, 2050 will be the years of no. A first open contact, from my understanding, what they said is a contact that everybody in television, they have a first congress, meeting. But contact as such, like public open contacts in remote areas and secret areas of humans, as I stood from year of 2022. I hope it will happen much often. than maybe once in 2022, maybe more often. I don't know. So yeah. So another thing was, I think that was it. Okay, so 15 minutes, 0.5, so it's a joyful number. So, okay, stay tuned for next videos maybe. I will leave you right now. No. I needed to go in a different place first. So you will hear me speak for another 2 or 3 minutes. I felt like wanting a pizza, so I decided to go for a pizza. Mwah. Okay, learning to drive, that's good. And oh yeah, we were talking with one of my friends after the channeling, and he said that's amazing. It's like, how fast do you speak? How fast the ideas come when in the channeling state? It's almost like, imagine when I'm talking right now. I have these maybe how to say it correctly, and the same in Latvian. I have these but in the channeling, none of these, completely none of these. And also, I said to the friend, I said, well, even if I were to know all that information that was shared about the years and about the Pleiadian message, about the how to increase your lifespan, and there was more private questions about personal information. Even if I were to know all of that information, I would definitely, before the seminar, I would be like, oh my god, what to start, how to speak, what to say, and what would be the correct, maybe I should start from this topic to that topic, maybe I should talk like this. If I were to try and constantly think what I need to say, and and in several points I would be like, oh, something in my throat. And in several places I would be like, okay, I don't know the answer. I would just say to them, I don't know the answer, for example. But this channeling, the channeling or the beings or whatever happens in the channeling, it just comes through in a blast. It just comes through non-stopping. And when the beings went away, it's like they wait for something, and then energy from my body, like, whew, lifts up. And it's like, let's skip this part, because sometimes I think, man, is this really possible? But let's just skip this part, whether it's not possible or something. But I'll definitely think that something definitely beyond the normal mind activity is going on in channeling state. Whether those are beings, whether those are not beings, whether that's subconscious or maybe that's not subconscious, maybe who knows what's going on there, right? And until you meet them in first contact, maybe even if you meet in out-of-body state, which I have done a couple of times. But anyway, when you do have an experience, like you would say physical experience, the mind will think, oh yeah, that's real, yeah, that's now, I believe it. But afterwards, I mean, after the first physical contact, you think, no, but maybe that's a hallucination, maybe it's from a dream state. In simple words, who knows what's going on? But the information is real. The information is real. The information is really interesting, and in many cases, it's real. It's like actually the future information, what's coming to true right now, everything. That's undoubtedly real, because you know this. But how do you know this? Or the beings, you have never saw them, you have never met them, you just felt them, you just saw them through whatever the channeling experience. That is the most creepiest, strangest, and yet most interesting things about the human ability to do channeling. Now that's really, really interesting. Okay, I will go now. Bye.